Call Elohim Yahweh Bahasham Hamashiach Yahushai Bahasham Rakakodash Barakatham. Shalom, this is your fellow servant Tazawar, here with another lesson. First, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praise unto Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of Great Millstone, whom rule well, and from whom we learn his truth. Shalom to you, Akim, who are not in GMS, but are pushing likewise doctrine and spirit and in truth throughout the earth. To you few sisters, as well as you speckled birds and the rest of the body of believers. Right? You speckled birds who are scattered among the nations, looking like those nations. To the 144,000 elect men and the rest of the hopeful elect. To you I say, Shalom. This is just like this gonna be a quick little laying back on the video I just posted. Titled Pay Attention Jake, right? I went into that bill that 47 was posting, but here is another little clip. What I mentioned in this video of some of the reactions, right, of a lot of so-called Black Americans and this police bill that your boy 47 was pushing. So without further ado, I'm not gonna ramble, but you get on this joint right here. We're gonna let a little bit play. Fair use, fair use. Right, fair use.
Law-abiding American citizens, we need, look, the crime is most rampant right here and in African American communities, and more people see me and they say, sir, we want protection. We want police to protect us. We don't want to get robbed and mugged and beat up or killed because we want to walk across the street to buy a loaf of bread. They want it so badly. The fake news doesn't talk about it. But the black population wants law enforcement more than any other population. So
Trump will declare martial law, which effectively means the military takes over for the police. Free speech becomes illegal. Protests become illegal. You have to have the permission of the military to do anything. And worse than that, the commander-in-chief, Trump, can do basically anything he wants. Literally. Okay? We may be looking at the end of American democracy.
Hold on. Let me
And we have 13 days left. Okay, here's my point. Please prepare your family for the worst. The other rumor is that they're going to seize all the guns. So if you have a gun, you want to keep it, you might want to bury it in your backyard. Stock up on food. Please stop spending money you don't have to spend. You may need it, okay? If he shuts everything down, you're going to need some cash. You're going to need something, okay? Please prepare your family for the worst and hope for the best. If this is just a rumor and it doesn't happen, then that's great. We're all fine. But if it does, you have 13 days to prepare. Please.
I look forward to you joining us at our next investor webinar, where you can drill deeper into our 9 to 13% annual interest rate bond offerings and see how our...
You have 13 days to prepare. Please.
all right, so this it been longer than 13 days. And we haven't seen anything yet. But again, the bill that your boy Donnie J signed is active, right? And is there sitting for the time being, waiting for the opportune moment for it to be implemented at any time. Okay? So Let's grab real quick. Hold on. I'm gonna read this. This is Matthew 24:6. Now, usually when we read this verse, we apply this to the wars among countries. Okay? But this guy said a couple things. He said, "Oh, here's the room." He said, "This is the rumor, and here's another rumor that they're coming after your firearms." Yo, so it's a war on the people, man. All right, a war on the general public, the general populace. In addition to a war on a specific group. All right, but Esau Edom, he's doing it to everybody, man, because he's insatiable. Matthew 24:6, it says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars." Right? "See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows." See that? So if martial law is implemented, well, we know that the famine and the pestilences and earthquakes have been happening throughout the earth, but also right here in Babylon the Great. Now it says nation against nation. Now, the Israelites, we don't have a kingdom of our own. So the kingdom that's applying to actual different countries, right? But for nation shall rise against nation within this country, within the kingdom, right? This queendom of Babylon the Great. All right, that whore. You have many nations, many peoples, right? That are here. And we are at sort of a point where we are almost at war within the country. It may not be, well, you know, there's been a war on us since we got over here, right? And they've coined it under different things. First, it was open under, after we got out of chattel slavery, but then you had Jim Crow era. Then you had civil rights era. That was like a war on us, right? We was getting beat. Drug. Right? Then you had the war on drugs. Right? Which did what? Around that same time, you had school to prison pipeline systems. You had destruction of the nuclear family, in particular, the glorification of the destruction of the family inside of the so-called black and brown communities. The destruction really began in the say the 70s, right? But it got glorified in the 80s and in the early 90s up until now. Look at all these bogus ass female rappers and the shit they put on TV, all this reality shows and whatever. Anyway, that's warfare, man. The COINTELPRO. That's warfare. It's soft war, but it's war. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows, right? Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Right? Who you think that's going to be? That's going to be the Israelites. And this whole thing with the martial law, and this is why I said this guy in the other video, I mentioned this thing being implemented, this bill being implemented with the intent to target specific demographics. Now, he said the black community, but within the so-called black community, it's really aimed at us. All right, the Israelites. They just going to use the crime that's within Jake neighborhoods as a reason to implement martial law. And then, you know, you won't be able to be out there. We won't be able to go to the hood or to the very populous cities, the downtown areas, right? To push the word like that. Okay? Let's see. Prophecies about Babylon. Yeah. This is Isaiah 13. Where I'm going to start at? Verse 11. It's Isaiah 13 and 11. Now this is talking about the destruction of Babylon. Right? Babylon the Great. I'm of the opinion when martial law happens, according to the scripture, when martial law happens, that is even more unraveling of Babylon the Great, because you're going to have, just like in Rome, right? Rome 1.0, you had the military being stretched too thin, but you also had turmoils in the city. Like the people was rousing up, right? So martial law implemented, and this guy, and this is why the elder apostle Tahar calls this guy Nero, man. Because this motherfucker came on national television like, yo, the so-called black people, like he got the authority to speak on behalf of, like, speak for us. That's the tripped out part. Now we know that we are captive, right? We held captive here. And we are still in our oppressor's hands. Right? This is why we have to fall on the mercy of the Lord. 100%. This devil just decided to take his mask off. See, he only got his partially off. He's still trying to use deception and shit. Right? This motherfucker, he got like a Two-Face mask on from Batman. One side looked normal, the other side showing his true colors, right? But he literally went on here like, yeah, the black people, the so-called black people want they won't police and martial law, da. But see, he showed part of his hand by doing that, right? And he's putting the separation, right? Like the verse we just read, nation against nation. He's separating, which the Lord wants anyway, right? But it made me think of this verse though, because we know everything's of the Lord. Isaiah 13:11, and I will punish the world for their evil, right? And the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible, which we are waiting on. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Right? I'm gonna get another one. Therefore, I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and the day of his fierce anger. So that's talking about the noisome destruction, right, of Babylon. But hold on, let's keep reading. And it shall be as the chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up, they shall every man turn to his own people. That's what I wanted. And flee everyone into his own land. Right? So when that if this motherfucker had martial law hit over here, people, all these different nations, they're gonna start fleeing Babylon, man. Because it's gonna be the sedition that we read about, that I brought out in the previous video. That shit. Could you imagine martial law hitting, and then all these militias pop up, all the good old boy militias pop up and start fighting back, right? Then you're gonna have people that's in the military, that's National Guard or whatever. They're gonna have friends and family in these militias. They're gonna go rogue. AWOL. And that whole thing will unravel. Lord willing. Lord willing. Right? And it shall be as a chased roe. That's talking about Esau, Edom. All right. But if that happens, the entire fabric of society will unravel. And it'll literally be the wild, what we call the wild, wild west out this motherfucker. And those are hard times coming. But Lord willing. All right. And Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, he preserve us through all of that chaos, man. All right. But we know the elect, whoever they may be and wherever they may be, they're going to be good. Right? But I wanted that verse 14. It should be as a chased roe, as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people. So it's going to be, and he's laying the groundwork for that now by saying, oh, you black folks. And with that whole April 5th shit, where they were trying to get black people to go out to them protests. And we was like, man, fuck that. So-called Negroes was like, fuck that shit, man. They was like, you had our people, the Israelites, saying, coming online talking about some black people keep your ass in the house. And you can feel the climate of the country. It is beginning to splinter and become more segregated, man. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee everyone to his own land. Well, we can't go nowhere. Some of these other people might, though. if they could find transportation, right? But that happened, that's what? That's Jacob's trouble, man. What I want? Saved out of it. Jeremiah 30:7. That Bish Nate, General Nathaniel Allah guy, be talking. I don't know if he's still on that, but you know he was saying that it ain't no Jacob's trouble. This is Jeremiah 30:7, right? This dude. Yeah, let's go to the point. Jeremiah 30:7, it says, Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. See that? So Jacob's trouble is a thing. But this is why we read in the previous verse that the Lord was going to make a man more precious than the gold of Ophir, man. Than the fine gold of Ophir. Boy, I'm telling you, if shit pop off, when shit pop off, you women gonna need a hedge. Right? And we are seeing the framework, the structure being set up for that. Anyway, this is supposed to be a short video, just recapping some of those this guy, Orange Man, spouting that shit about the so-called black community and letting you know where his target is. Anyway, I pray this lesson finds you well. I pray that it was edifying. Until next time, Shalom. Wa about the ball.